Well, good morning everybody. My name is Dr. JD Swanson, for those who don't know me, and I'm the author of Karate Science. And what I want to do today is I want to talk about Heian Sandan. So we've talked about Heian Nidan before, broken it down. Let's move on to the next kata. Again, remember that there's many people presumably watching this from many different organizations. Remember, this is the way I do it and things that I think are important and to help you improve the kata overall. So I'm going to be showing you minor variations that show minor tweaks to help you understand the movement. That's the idea here. So with that, and also hopefully help some of you think a little bit further on from just the base of the kata into some sort of interesting ideas. So without further ado, let's get started. Good. So what I'm hoping is that you understand Heian Sandan. What we're going to be doing today is covering all the way from here, the double blocks, round through, all the way through to the end of the first line, right? So Tetsui right through to the Oizuki. So hopefully. So what I want to do is let's just get started. So the first movement of the kata, and remember Heian, everything from Heian Nidan onwards has this feeling. This idea of dropping in place, right? And the concept is somebody's right on top of you, they're coming in. Remember, Heian Nidan was the late kata. Heian Sandan, you're way better, you're an orange belt now, right? So everything's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more, rather than just sort of knee-jerky, panicky, you can have a compound movement like uchuke. The concept, though, is still dropping in place. So as you step, make sure that you're not dropping forward into the stance into nothing Dutch. Make sure it's a straight drop down, a low connection, just straight into place. Into Kokutsudachi, remember body weight 70-30, right, sitting down, bum tucked in, squeezing, locking and opening right up. Check, this is pulled all the way back. Make sure the uchuke is one fist width off and dropping. Some little subtleties about this particular movement is the idea here. Make sure that you're covering your body. So this helps the hip get into the correct hip position if you use this arm across. In my mind, this is the actual block here. This is the piece. This is the part that you're sort of thinking about. This is emergency and clearing the way. So this is that sort of goal, cover everything. So you're covering lower, upper body straight off the bat. And then from there, dropping down to the uchuke. So having the feeling of here, drop, drop, and then connect. So the idea here, load, make the cover, and use the drop of the body with the elbow and leg, same time. So what I would like you to do is just practicing, just maybe 5 to 10, drop, 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 and so forth, drop, drop. Okay, just going through multiple times. You can see sometimes I vary it up, loading on top, loading underneath, depending on what I feel like or what I need. Ideally for the kata, of course, load it correctly. Load it correctly each time. So with that, press pause, rip into it. Excellent. Okay, so you've got the drop. Now the next piece, of course, is this double block. So let's talk about the arm movement first. Remember, this one here is basically gerambarai and uchuke. So when you're learning the kata, don't be in a hurry. You'll see all sorts of variations. People out here going, right, trying to do this sort of stiff thing. Instead, use your shoulders, use the squeeze of the chest. And how you learn that initially, right, is like so. Coming in, you've made the first block. From here, load it across like gerambarai. Bring the other hand here, loading like uchuke. So normal, traditional load, normal, traditional load. Then from here, push out. Load, push out. Watch my elbows, they come in and out to shoulder width apart, shoulder width apart. Ideally what you should see is my bicep and tricep, right, my humerus should be here. You shouldn't be able to see them, and hopefully all you can see is from my elbow, I have two arms sticking out, one going straight, one sticking up. So it's this load, push, load, push, load, push. So just practicing 1, 2, 1, 2. Uchuke is always on the outside, not gerambarai, don't bring it through the inside, it comes on the outside. or goes on the outside. So practicing just like so. Once you get more and more used to that, and you get used to this compression across the chest, this expansion, contraction, expansion, then use that, and instead of making the full and complete block, you can just relax, 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 allowing that piece to happen. One way you can do it that kind of helps you, it's not correct, but it's a way to sort of help. Just hit this into the crook of your elbow. Oh, the block happens naturally. Hit. It happens naturally. Hit. Hit. It just happens naturally. So with that, practice just that individual movement, just with the arms to get that ready. Then we'll talk about the movement of the body from there. So give it a go. Excellent. So from here now, think about the movements that you want to do. So when I do this, the way I imagine it is that as I move, let your body naturally move with the hip, with the body, with the center. So again, if I was loading here strictly, they would be even and set up. When I'm moving sort of more relaxed, I'm thinking about this cover here. So this would move with me. This, there, push, load, push. Again, I'm not making a physical, really sort of kind of movement. It's just relaxed and with my body. Relax and with my body. And if you listen to what your body's doing, it'll happen naturally. So let's now put it into the context of the technique. We're down here, load, if I'm doing it the basic way, 1, then elbow, hip, body, 2. Then load, push. So thinking here, 1, feel, elbow, hip, body, 1, 1, 1, up. Then here, just use the vibration, those micro rotations to allow it to go. From the front. Then, as you get more relaxed, there's no reason to make these full and complete motions. Go more short course, go the shorter action. So from here, feel up, up, right? 1, 2, 3. This feeling. Again, compression, hip vibration, all needs to be in there. And again, it becomes smaller and smaller the more advanced you get. So, with that, give it a go. And then what we'll do is we'll add timing to this, and there's sort of a little bit of a sort of interesting piece here. So, give it a go. Rip into it. Very good. So now from here is timing. The timing is the same as Heian Nidan. 1, 1, 2. This one here, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. So again, move at your own pace. If you find that you can't connect and bop them both at the same time, fine. Right? Make this pause 1, 1,000. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Make it slower. And then as you want to move it more into a fighting dynamic or a speedy dynamic, feel this feeling. But again, feel the coordination of your body. Don't have everything kind of disconnected. Feel there. There. For the advanced people in the room, if you're using this stepping up as a block, right, whether it's blocking low or blocking high, you must alter the timing of your hands. So if you're using it as a throw, that's something different, yeah? But if you're using it as a block, and under that sort of understanding, if you throw this and you step up and make the block, I'm going to get hit. Instead, you must block before you get there. If you notice, my timing hits the block just a split second before I move, before I land. So this is something that's important, and when we're able to train with people again, try that feeling. Try it initially here. Feel the difference. If someone's coming in to attack you, say Jodan or Chudan, probably Chudan. Feel here as they step, try blocking this and this coordinating together versus there, just slightly earlier. And what you'll find is that this alters the timing of the technique slightly to here, this being a block, connecting and pulling at this point, while this one makes the hit and drives in. So you can see it as a push-pull, almost like a precursor to Sorchin right down the road. So as you go, feeling that sort of odd, quicker timing. Odd, quicker timing as you go. So this is something to play with as you move on. So with that, give the timing a go. Excellent. Okay, so the next part is you get to repeat. From here now, feel that load. Feel that load and rotate in the ball joint round. This is one of my favorite moves in all kata. Where you're here, 1, 2, feel that same load, place and pull, and feel that rotation. Feel that push. Place, 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 rotate. Place, rotate. 1, 2. So what I want you to do from here, try slow, slow, turn. 1, 2. Then gradually speed up. With that, press pause, give it a go. Excellent. From here now, we're going to start moving up the line. And as you go, there's 2 ways you can think about doing this. One is as you're learning, right? Just as we broke down this, just as we broke down the first part, right? 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. Just as we broke down the initial pieces, you can also break down the other parts as we go. So from here, I've just finished this. I'm just going to rotate it for you and move in this direction. Number 1 is drop and load. Then feel your body weight stay where it is. Feel your center try and stay. It'll move out a little bit because I'm moving to kokuts. But don't drive it forward. Feel that drop. Then feel elbow, leg, hip. Same time. Again, that same feeling. So again, the key thing here is don't fall into this trap of sort of feeling like you've only got the, and it's all disconnected. Learn the end point of the technique. Learn to drop your block and your front leg and hip at the same time. So it's here and then feeling 1. So this action, allow that to occur. So when you're here, feel 1, 2, that flavor. Then, as you become more advanced, you can then from there combine the 2. So just make the drop on the step and move your hands faster. But because you understand the feeling of this, the grab of the stance, the rotation of the wrist, the connection of the technique, it's easier to do those other parts quicker. So when you're here, feel 1, to understand this feeling. Then just throw the leg, drop and throw the arms, but finish at the end. When you're more advanced still and you understand that grip of the feeling, you don't need this piece. You can do away with that and simply drop elbow, hip, body into the technique. Now we haven't talked much about Marotuke, but there's some important pieces to think about. Number 1 is this elbow. This elbow does not sit here. It sits not behind the funny bone, just above. And these 2 knuckles push in just above the funny bone. Don't push it behind. You'll hit your funny bone. Don't connect out. That creates a gap here. You want to rotate to these 2 fingers, pushing squarely against your body, this fully rotated in here. And the feeling is as if both hands are driving forward, not this sort of throw to the side. Think more uchuke here and a push, augment. Remember, augment does not mean to make that drive. It can, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. It may mean block with this hand, hit with this hand. It may mean block with this hand, hit with this hand. It's about getting both hands into play rather than the classic idea. Remember, opening move, use this hand, block, this hand's out of play, this is in. Marotuke now this is an expression later on in the kata because you're further through it, right? We've now just used uchuke with the other hand out. Now we bring it in a closer distance, in a closer range. So this is that escalation of basic, more advanced, as we've moved through the kata, as we've worked our way through. So feeling here, feeling this motion here, have the feeling of, oh, this is blocking, this is striking, or this one's blocking, this is striking. As the technique comes in, it's closer, blah, hit. Have that feeling and functionality in the kata. The only way you can get to here is by practicing the three different ways and the three different feelings. But they all have the same flavor, they all have the same end point. So be very wary of that compression and push. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop here. So from here, practice the Marotuke, practice that drop. Then what I want you to do is then finally practice the entire kata together. So practicing the idea of all those variations as they build and seeing which one feels right for you and which one fits within your organization, but taking what you learn from doing it these different ways. So from here, practicing all the way up to where we are. So first part, block, just to hear that feeling. And give that a go, practice it multiple times over. And what I'll do is I'll add in another video going up the line, up to that center point, and maybe further on. We'll see how we go. So with that, have an awesome day. It's finally summer, or at least it feels like it. And with that, I'll see you again next time. Hey, us. Thank you.